All right, good morning, everybody. Today we're going to do a lesson on geometric sequences. Earlier in the year, we did a lesson on arithmetic sequences. So let's real quick recap the difference between these two. Get them, please. And then, so an arithmetic sequence looks like this, right? It's a problem that has a pattern like 1, 5, 9, 14, right? What's happening here? It's going up by 4. Oh, it's not going up by 4s. It's going up by... All right. All right. 1, 5, 9, 13. What's it going up by? 4s. That's arithmetic. Today, we're going to talk about geometric, things that are going up by a multiplication pattern. So if we start with, like, say, 2, and then I say 6, and then I say 18, and then 20, 40, 60, 54, I think? Yeah. What's happening here? It's times this time, which we've never done before, yeah? This is called a geometric pattern. When you hear geometric, think multiplication or division, which is really just multiplication with fractions. So it's the same idea, okay? So let's go back in time. When we did these earlier in the year, right? Remember when we did the arithmetic sequences, remember the recursive and explicits, right? So we get the first term was 2, the second term was 6, the third term was 18, the fourth term was 54, and then we change these, right? We say a sub 1. A sub 1 was 2, a sub 2 was 6, a sub 3 was 18, a sub 4 was 54. You remember that? Okay. Now what we're going to try to do is write an equation for this, right? So watch this. If I want to write an equation for this, to find any number in the sequence, remember that's what that means, right? A sub n is any number in the sequence. What do? Well, you start with the first number, 2, and you multiply it by the skip count. What's the skip count in this case? It's not plus 3. What is it? Times 3 to the n, right? To like however many times you want to do it. And if you do this, it doesn't work. So look what I just did. Start with the first number and start multiplying it by 3 as many times as you need. So if I want to find the second number, right, then I would do 2 times 3 to the second, because I want to find the second number. And if you do this, it doesn't work. What's 3 squared? 9 times 2. It gives me the third number, not the second number. What's wrong? It's the same problem that we had with arithmetic sequences, which is you don't skip count to the first number. If you want to get to the second number, how many times are you going to skip count? Once, right? Only once. If you want to get to the third number, you skip count twice. Can we fix this formula? How? N minus 1. Good job. Yes, n minus 1 does it. First term, start with 2, multiply by 3, one less time than the number you're trying to get to. If I'm trying to get to the second number, I multiply by 3 one time. If I'm trying to get to the third number, I multiply by 3 two times. It's n minus 1. That make sense, everyone? All right. So that's the first part of this. That's all this is saying. All right. That's all this is saying, right? A sub 1 is what? What does that mean? First number, right? First term, first number. What does A sub n stand for? Any number in the sequence, right? Any term or any number. Term, number, same thing. N stands for the nth number, yeah? So the 5th number, the 20th number, blah, blah, blah. What do you think R is? Yeah, it's called the common ratio. Remember how we did the common difference before? And it's been a while, but that's the common ratio. And we're not going to get to a sub n minus 1 right now, so we'll get to that in a minute. All right. For each geometric sequence in explicit and incursive form, find the nth term, okay? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to write this in explicit, then we're going to write this in recursive. So let's do the explicit first. To find any term in the sequence, you start with the first term, you multiply it times the common ratio to the n minus 1. Why do we subtract 1 there? I want to make sure we understand why we subtract 1 there. You don't skip count to the first. You skip count one less time. All right? So, what is a sub 1? 3 times, what's the skip count? Times 4, times 4, times 4. These blow up really fast. Okay? They blow up really fast. You're going to have to use a calculator on these. All right? To the n minus 1. There's our equation. That is, so that's the first thing we need to write. That's our explicit. Is a sub n equals 3 times 4 to the n minus 1. People forget about that n minus 1. We're going to have to memorize this for the EOC. All right? And we will. You good there? All right. The next part, the recursive. So let's put our pencils down for just a minute. Just watch this. Remember what the recursive is. The recursive is used when you know a term and you want to find the next number, yeah? So if I knew 2, if I knew the first term was 2, how do I find the next term? What do? You multiply it by 3. What does that 3 represent? The common ratio. Yeah? So the recursive is going to be to find any number, find the number before it, that's n minus 1. Remember this? This means the number before it. And multiply by what? The common ratio. That's it. So if I was trying to write this for this one, to find any number, take the number before it and multiply by what? 3. That's the recursive. And here's the deal. That's the one that usually pops up on the EOC. We want that one on the EOC, right? Because that's like ridiculously easy. To find a number, find the number before and multiply by 3. All right. So let's go back up here. That's real simple, especially after we've done the arithmetic already. All right. So what does a sub n? What does a sub n minus 1 mean? The term before n, huh? Or a sub n? I guess you could say a sub n, right? The number before a sub n. All right. Can I write the recursive for this? Yes. To find any number, find the number before it times the common ratio. So to find any number, find the number before it times what in this case? What is our common ratio? 4. Done. There's our recursive. Our recursive is to find any number, find the number before it times 4. You're going to fly through this homework assignment. Okay, last thing we have to do is find a sub 10. Okay, should I use the explicit or the recursive to find a sub 10? Why the explicit? If I knew a sub 9, then a sub 10 would be easy using the recursive. But I don't know a sub 9. Oh, well, then find a sub 8. Well, I don't know that either. Oh, well, then just find a sub 7. Well, I don't know that either. I only know a sub 1, 2, I only know a sub 4. No, not good. Recursive, not good. Explicit is good. So let's do it. To find a sub 10, what are we going to do? 3 times 4. What are we trying to find? 10 minus 1. See what I did? If I want to find a sub 10, I put 10 in for n. Now this you cannot do in your head. You're going to have to write it down on a calculator. So 3 times 4 to the 9th. Someone tell me what that is. It's a huge number. 786 what? 432. You're going to have to use a calculator on this, okay? We're not doing sit there and be annoyed by giant multiplication, okay? Use it on your phone or something. So that's the last thing. Find a sub 10. A sub 10 was 786432. Easy? Questions? This one should be negative, okay? That should be negative. There. Negative 36. All right. What's happening on example 2? It's being multiplied by 2, right? So to find any number, start with the first number, multiply it by the common ratio to the n minus 1, right? To find any number, what's a sub 1 times what's the common ratio? 2 to the n minus 1. Done. There we go. There's our explicit. Is this going to take us long? To find any number, start with the first, which is what in this case? 9 times 2 to the n minus 1. Can we find the recursive? It always starts off with a sub n equals a sub n minus 1, and it's not plus the common ratio, it's times the common ratio. So times what in this case? 2. Done. Okay, how would I find a sub 8? Let's do it. To find a sub 8, it's going to be negative 9 times 2 to the what? 8 minus 1. Good. 2 to the 8 minus 1. Okay, let's stop there for a minute. Look at all three of those pieces. Are we comfortable with what's happening there? Any questions at all? This is the right time to ask those kind of questions. Make sure you understand it deeply. We're okay? Start off by writing this equation and then just filling in the blanks. Start off by writing the recursive. You don't even have to write out because all you're doing is putting the R number in. And to find a sub 8, we're going to have to do this, right? Negative 9 times 2 to the what? 7? Someone do that for me, please. It's going to be negative 7, 8, what? We agree? Does that sound right or no? What is it? 1? No. Negative 9 times 2 to the 7th power is what? 152? That's this? Can you just tell me the numbers? 1, what? And talk. You, zip. 1. Is that what we all have? Hallelujah. All right, negative 1152. It didn't get so big because we were multiplying by 2s, yeah? All right, next problem. What's happening? It's going down, so it must be times a fraction, huh? If you don't know what the fraction is, take the second term and divide it by the first term. It'll always tell you what the fraction is. So what is 72 divided by 472? 1/6? We agree? All right. So what does that mean? What does 1/6 mean? It's times a 6 each time, right? Times a 6, times a 6. In fact, this one gives it away, right? It's better to look later on. How does 12 become 2? Divide by 6 or times 1/6. Okay. So we know R is 1/6, yeah? All right, go see if you can do the rest on your own. Can you divide 72 by what? No, divide 72 by 470. No, you didn't. Check. Someone check it for me. 472 divided by 72 should be 6. If you want to find a fraction, divide 72 by 472, and it'll give you 1/6, which is the ratio. Now you're getting the decimal equivalent of the fraction. Watch it. 72 over what? Did I make a mistake? What's 72 times? Maybe I wrote the problem wrong. So what's 72 times 6? Oh, so good catch, Xavier. So this should have been 432. I'm sorry, guys. These notes are like 2 years old, so there's still a lot of mistakes in them. All right, 432. You guys understand what he caught? All right. All right. So to find any number, find the first number times the common ratio to the n minus 1. To find any number, what's the first number, guys? 432. What's the common ratio? 1/6 in parentheses. If you don't put the 1/6 in parentheses, it'll take the 1 to the n minus 1 power. The n minus 1 power will only be for the 1 and not the whole thing. So be careful with that. I don't want you to miss that, okay? All right. Can we write the recursive? Define a sub n, find the number before it, times what? When in doubt, parentheses. All right. So there we go. We got our explicit is a sub n equals 432 times 1/6 in parentheses to the n minus 1. A sub n equals a sub n minus 1 times the common ratio, which is 1/6 in parentheses. And what do we want to find? A sub what? 10? All right, that's going to be ugly. What is it? Say it for me, Mike. 1 over 2, 3, 3, 2, 8. So a sub 10 is 1 over 2, 3, 3, 2, 8. All right. Now they're going to get a little bit harder. Actually, they're not actually harder here. All right. So what is this? What is this form? That's explicit. So what does the 3 mess represent? That must be a sub 1. What does the 2 represent? The r. So we can write that. So a sub 1 is 3, r is 2. Easy? All right. Now, what's the recursive then? To find any number, find the number before it times 2. Okay, so how should we find a sub 3? Should we use the recursive or the explicit? What do you guys think? I would use the recursive because I'm only 1 step away from it, or 2 steps away. If a sub 1, right, if a sub 1 is 3, then a sub 2 is what? 6, and a sub 3 is 12, yes. 12, done. Yay, math easy. Okay, stop there. Does that make sense what we did? Once we knew the common ratio is 2, we're just doubling it each time. If I need to find a sub 20, I would never have done that. But if I want to find a sub 2, might as well just get there using the recursive. All right, next one. See if you can figure out what a sub 1 and r are, please. All right, Samira, what is a sub 1? Good. And what's the r? 1/2, good. All right. Write the, Ms. Chapa, write the recursive for me to find a sub n. Find the number times, good. All right, next. Connor, if you wanted to find a sub 3, how would you do it? That's this Connor. Sorry. Recursive or explicit? I would use recursive because all you're going to do is multiply it by a half, which is the same as dividing by 2. You're going to do 3 divided by 2 divided by 2. What is that? If you divide by 2 twice, what are you really dividing by? Right, 3/4. Is that hard, guys? All right, we're not going to do that. We're going to skip 6. Let's go to 7. 7's good. What is this? The recursive. Someone explain this, what this means here. What does this mean? Define any number. Come on. Find the number before it times. What does this mean? Oh, it's tripling each time. Okay, they tell me a sub 1 is 4. So to find any number, find the first term times the common ratio to the n minus 1. One less skip count, right? Go ahead and fill in those blanks, please. Where are we at now? We're here, right? What's a sub 1? What's the common ratio? To the n minus 1. That's what you guys should have had. Yay or nay? All right, so that's the explicit, right? A sub n is equal to 4 times 3 to the n minus 1. All right, what's a sub 2? Should I use the recursive or the explicit? Right, because I know a sub 1. So how do I find a sub 2? I want you to logic your way, right? To find any number, find the number before it. Right. To find any number, find the number before it times 3. Would be what? Don't do this. This is good when I want to find one way off in the distance. It's okay. The common ratio is 3. It's tripling each time. Let's not get complicated here. So if the first number is 4 and it's tripling, what's the next number? Thank you. 12. What's the third number? 36. That's right. The common ratio is 3. Is this hard, guys? I don't know why I put a sub. I think I meant to put a sub 2 and 3, I think. Yeah, we can do these. These aren't going to take us very long. All right, next one. Yeah, if it's an emergency, go. All right, Mason. What does this 2/3 represent? Common ratio is 2/3. All right. Define any number. Find the first number. Find the common ratio to the n minus 1. Lola, fill in those blanks. Define any number. We're trying to write the explicit, right? Find any number. Take the first number, which is what? 12 times what? In parentheses. Good job. N minus 1. All right. So what do we need to do here? To find a sub 2, what are we going to do? That's right. Good job. 12 times 2/3. That's 8. And I'll help you with 8 sub 3. That's 8 times 2/3, which is 16/3. All right, 16/3. We already had this, right? Oopsie. Equals 12 times 2/3 to the n minus 1. All right, example 9. What's different here? They gave us a sub 2. I want to see, can you guys figure out what a sub 1 was? You got to first understand what this means, right? You have to understand what that's saying. You might want to take a shot. What is that saying? Define a number. Go ahead, Lola. So that must be the common ratio, -2. It's multiplying by -2. So how would I find a sub 1 then? Divide by -2, so -6. How would I find a sub 3? Multiply 12 by -2, so -36. 24 if you're good at math. Don't judge me. Can we write the explicit? Sure. A sub n is equal to a sub 1, which is what? -6 times parentheses -2 to the n minus 1. I'm not going to do example 10. It's the same idea. Did we get this? Are we okay with this? All right.